In a world that never stops moving, the quest for balance between work, rest, and spiritual development has never been more critical.
The comments, opinions, and views shared during this program are of those individual Freemasons and do not reflect the official position of a Grand Lodge, concordant body, appendant body, Masonic Authority, or craftsmanonline.com.
Welcome to the Daily Masonic Progress Podcast with your host, Right Worshipful Brother Darren Allett.
The Masonic teachings, symbolized through tools like the 24-inch gauge, remind us to allocate our daily hours wisely and balance the demands of work with the essential needs for rest and spiritual growth. The symbolism of the tools like the 24-inch gauge is not just a tool for measuring physical dimensions, but rather it's a metaphor for how we spend and measure our time. It teaches us to divide the day into portions for labor, refreshment, and prayer and meditation, but also encourages us to reflect on our priorities and shape our days with intention. And finding balance here is crucial, not just for our personal well-being, but for the health of society as a whole. You see, in an era of constant connectivity with distractions abound, Freemasonry emphasizes that dedicating time to spiritual practices is a rebuke to the materialistic and busy ethos that dominates our culture. And the relevance of Freemasonry's teachings extends beyond historical curiosity, finding confirmation in modern scientific research. You see, studies in neurology and psychology have demonstrated the profound benefits of meditation and prayer on the brain and how it contributes to our overall health. And these practices not only enhance personal well-being, but they also improve our productivity and focus. So by embracing these ancient wisdoms, we can combat modern ailments such as stress, burnout, and the pervasive sense of spiritual emptiness. However, the Masonic approach is not just about a rigid adherence to a set schedule. Life is unpredictable, and it requires flexibility. The teachings caution us against becoming so inflexible that in our routines we lose any sight of compassion and adaptability. Rather, instead, they advocate for a mindful application of the 24-inch gauge and encourage us to recalibrate our priorities as our circumstances change. The clash between Freemasonry's call for balance and the demands of the contemporary work culture are stark. Today's workplace often expects constant availability and eroding the distinction between personal and professional time. Yet, by steadfastly carving out hours for rest and spiritual practices, we act in a quiet rebellion against these expectations, affirming the value of our mental and spiritual health. The societal implications of ignoring spiritual development are evident in the rise of materialism, ethical decline, and mental health issues. Freemasonry's balanced approach serves as a counterbalance to these trends, advocating for a society that values the soul much more than it values material success. And by integrating these Masonic principles with the latest scientific insights on mindfulness and well-being, we can actually foster a more holistic approach to living. And this synthesis of ancient wisdom with contemporary science offers a compelling framework for navigating life's challenges. So as we then strive for balance in our increasingly complex world, the Masonic perspective provides not just guidance, but a call to action. And what this does is invites us to consider how we might better allocate our most precious resource, time, and to cultivate a more richer and meaningful experience.
This has been the Daily Masonic Progress Podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you follow us on Spotify or subscribe on Apple Podcasts. The Daily Masonic Progress Podcast is available on all streaming platforms with new episodes every week.